Continuing our discussion about the architecture, in this video we are going to talk about the producer and consumer part. So we already have seen a lot detail about this one, but it's just that pointer wise we want to cover that. So this is the cluster, Kafka cluster that we already covered. Producer and consumer is the focus of discussion of this video. Producers are those which are sending the messages. They are responsible for publishing the messages. Producers, they can write messages to a specific partition or let Kafka choose the partition based on the partition key. We already so the default partitioning strategy is a round robin, but we can also make sure that our messages is going a specific partition. So that is where we can specify a partition key while sending the message. The producer APIs allows application developers to send messages to a Kafka topic either synchronously or asynchronously. I hope you are aware of this terminology. Synchronous means like if this is a producer and this is a Kafka, they are sending the messages and they will wait for the response from the Kafka. That is where synchronously. And the second one is like they will just send the message but not wait for the response. That is their asynchronous communication comes into picture. So this ecosystem provides both setup. We can go ahead the use case that we need. They can send messages to multiple topics and partition in parallel as well. Producer can also be configured to partition messages based on the specific key. That is what will make sure the ordering guarantees from the producer side itself. They can, this is very important, while sending the messages the compression can be taken into picture. It's just a configuration that we can put it, and before sending the messages to the Kafka it will be compressed so that network communication, like that the network call will be very efficient. In summary, the producer plays a critical role in Kafka. Obviously if there are no producer, there is no sense of Kafka, obviously, right? What producer API is? So Kafka provides its ecosystem, like its cluster setup and all that. Also it also provides libraries for specific languages like Java, JavaScript, Python and others, who can use these APIs libraries to send the messages to the topic, to the Kafka ecosystem. So we just see the whatever we covered the producer capabilities, so it covers all those that. So asynchronous and synchronous message sending, we will be able to get out of this one. Batch processing and compression that we talked about. So it is not a single message is ready that it is sending to a Kafka topic. So producer API, so itself takes care of grouping that message, grouping in a sense like making a batch, because one-to-one message sending will be a costly, like because network call costs a lot. So if there is like message production is very high, so they will make sure to group it based on the time, like 1 second or 1 minute, and whatever message is collected in 1 minute they will send that one. Message partitioning also they can be done. They can specify a key and custom partitioning strategy as well. Compression batching is one thing, and compressing that batch gives another level of efficiency while sending the messages over the network. Error handling, if one producer tries to send a message, if let's say that fails, so Kafka itself provide a retry mechanism. So you can say it can be retried, because sometimes it can be like there is something internally happening on the Kafka cluster. That is why Kafka setup is not available, but on the next second if it retries, it can be successful. So that retry mechanism is available there. Custom serialization, the producer API allows developers to specify their own custom serialization. So first let's see why serialization is needed. So your events will have certain attributes, so you need to specify this the mechanism. That is why it will be converted into the binary format, and the same logic will be used on the consumer side while reading that message. So we'll see the deserialization there. So the default serialization is provided by the Kafka, but if you need to specify your custom serialization logic, that can also be given there in the producer API itself. Now talking about the consumers, this is the application that reads messages from a Kafka topic. They can subscribe to one or more topics and read messages from one or more partitions in parallel. A single consumer can do this one. So that's what consumers do. Coming to the consumer group, that we talked about parallel processing and all that, right? So consumers in the Kafka can be grouped together. So there will be a consumer group ID, and this ID, different individual consumers, they can come and join this ID by specifying ID. And that is why we will get the parallel processing. Each group is responsible for consuming a subset of the messages. Each message is delivered to only one consumer. So if they are listening to this topic and this is a consumer group, so if they are listening it, so this consumer has listened to that message will not be delivered to the second consumer. This allows multiple consumers to work together. They work as a team. So one team member has done that job. There is no need to do by other team members. So that is why we'll get the parallelism. So there is an important construct that we need to understand here. So our topic has different partitions, 1, 2, 3, right? And on the consumer side, there can be multiple consumers that you see. We have this topic, we have this 5 partitions there, and let's say in the ideal scenario, we have 5 consumers. So if there are equal partitions and consumer, there is a straightforward one-to-one setup. One topic, one partition will be assigned to one consumer. There is a ideal scenario where we have maximum parallelism that we can get, but it's not the ideal case, right? Sometimes there is a case where there are more partitions but less consumer. In that case, multiple partitions will be assigned to a single consumer. So it will be distributed equally. It will try to do that equal partitioning. Let's say if there is a 6th partition, so that 6th partition will go to the 1. So that load is equal on the different consumers. So by default, this strategy goes. This is the one setup. This is very important question for the interview. Let's say there is less partitions, there is more partitions and less consumers. This is the setup that will go. One consumer will listen from more than one partition. Another setup is when we have more consumers than the partitions. So the extra consumer that is there. So we say that maximum one-to-one setup is there between the partition and the consumer, because when we say that let's consider a case that is this extra consumer be assigned this number 6 partition. So there will be a conflict. Let's say consumer 5 maintains offset which message it has read, right? And the consumer 6 will collide from there. So how they will coordinate on the offset number that which one is processed. So that is why Kafka has avoided it altogether. So maximum processing that we can get out of this one is the number of partitions. So because it is a that is why we say that number of partition is a basic thing that we should consider if we are going to talk about the parallelism and high throughput in this one. Let's say you have a single topic and a single partition, so that is like not going to it will cover other use cases but not on the high throughput side. So we should decide the partitions as per the use case. Consumer APIs, the same way that we have producer APIs, there is a consumer API as well. Consumer groups, we can specify this one. Message offset management, that can be done with the consumer API. Partitioning assignment, we can assign a particular custom partition assignment can be done. Polling and callback modes, that can be also done, because there is two way that you can if there is a topic, there is a consumer, you can keep polling this one on a certain interval, and whenever a message is available, it will give it to you. Another one is a call and callback mechanism is when you need to send to acknowledge, you need to acknowledge that this offset is processed. So callback methods we can configure which can communicate to the Kafka ecosystem that this offset is done. Error handling mechanism, if there is any error handling or something event failure is there, so that is not acknowledged to the Kafka, so that if that error is handled in certain point of time, that can be taken care. Custom deserialization, same way we have serialization, we have deserialization mechanism also. So that's all that covers about the consumer and producer side of the thing. So it's a just theory, as I told you. And there is one more thing left, that is Zookeeper, and there has been a recent change in the Zookeeper, how Zookeeper is used in the Kafka ecosystem. So that is why I have dedicated a separate video for this one. But in theory, for the theory part, that is going to be the last video. Then we'll jump into the Kafka setup, installation, and all that thing. So see you in the next one. Bye.